Virat and I keep talking about how we can lower our impact on the planet and make it a better place for the future generations.
One of the aspects of our lives we've changed is adopting a plant-forward diet, which means not consuming any meat at all.
Last week, the husband and wife duo of cricketer Virat Kohli and actress Anushka Sharma announced their investment in alternate meat startup Blue Tribe Foods while becoming its brand ambassadors at the same time. In September last year, another celebrity couple, Ritesh and Genelia Deshmukh, launched their mock meat startup Imagine Meats. Celebrities are driving local awareness of vegan and plant-based foods, touting their environmental benefits and ethical sourcing of ingredients. According to the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, the livestock sector plays an important role in climate change. Meat and dairy industries account for 14.5% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. Over the past few years, India witnessed the emergence of a number of startups that deal in plant-based alternatives to chicken, mutton, fish, milk, and even eggs. Some of these are Blue Tribe Foods, Good Dot, Evolved Foods, Evo Foods, Imagine Meats, and Greenest Foods. They largely focus on snack items like nuggets, burgers, sausages, and kebabs. Plant proteins extracted from soybeans, wheat, potato, jackfruit, and pulses are mixed with edible oils, starch, and seasonings to make plant-based meat substitutes. Other additives help in replicating the color, texture, and taste of animal-based meat. Though a niche market currently, it has been seeing triple-digit growth. According to a September 2021 report by Nirmal Bang, India's plant-based meat market is estimated at $30 to $40 million, largely driven by consumer packaged food. In a normal scenario, the report says the market size is likely to touch $500 million in 3 years in India. To understand the need for animal meat alternatives, we spoke to Varun Deshpande. He heads the Good Food Institute India, which promotes the alternative protein sector by serving as an expert body and offers advisory services to companies launching plant-based meat substitutes.
The reason that it's very important to do this is because our current supply of meat, eggs, and dairy, which is of course from animal sources, it creates a lot of risk when it comes to planetary health as well as public health, right? So the use of antibiotics in the supply chain, the risk of zoonotic diseases, and of course a number of different environmental and climate change issues. So whether we think about greenhouse gas emissions, deforestation, ocean dead zones, ocean acidification, species loss, etc., a lot of this owes to the industrialization of our protein supply in animal agriculture. And the reason for this is very simple. Animals are actually a very poor protein production platform in terms of their efficiency. You know, a chicken takes in 9 calories of input to give you 1 calorie of output in the form of flesh. So early adopter market, or the sweet spot initially for this, seems to be people who already consume meat, right? And who are feeling a bit guilty about their meat consumption, right? So they are aware of their impacts on the planet. We call these people guilty non-veg or flexitarians. Beyond this early adopter market that is aware of the impacts on the planet, the true mass market demands very simple things. It demands that we get to a certain taste and a certain price. That's going to take a long time. It's a simple ask, but a complex one to fulfill, and it demands actually a lot of coordination across industry, government involvement, and existing players in the meat and seafood industry as well, getting in and seeing this as part of their future as well.
Alternative meats are also seen as a sustainable protein source in a country like India, where 80% of the population is reportedly protein deficient. While more than 70% of the population is non-vegetarian, India's per capita meat consumption is one of the world's lowest at just 4.5 kg compared to 120 kg in the US and 45 kg in China. For that reason, most of India's non-vegetarian population can be referred to as flexitarians, which means those with a predominantly vegetarian diet with occasional meat consumption. The flexitarians, who also happen to be urban, young, middle class, health conscious and ethically conscious, are fueling the growth of this market. They are the ones who can choose to overlook the high prices, as plant-based meats are a lot more expensive than animal meats. Plant-based meat can take many names, from smart protein and alternative meat to vegetarian meat and mock meat. Good Dot co-founder and CEO Abhishek Sinha spoke about the reasons for the high prices and also discussed the performance of his business.
Clearly, our target audience are meat eaters who want to either reduce or eliminate meat from their diet. Yeah. So, of course, the reason for high prices are, of course, a limited market for sure. So, the economies of scale has not really kicked in. The second is most of the raw material to get that texture of meaty texture, they are very high cost ingredients like protein isolates, pea protein, soy protein isolates, which are very expensive. So, they essentially go into supplements. So that's the reason why the raw material cost is quite high and economies of scale has not kicked in. We are trying our level best to keep reducing the price, and right now and many of our products are at price point, or even some of them are lower than meat products. Sales have increased constantly, almost 100% year on year growth since past 4 years. This year we should be anywhere between 150 to 200% growth. So it's warming up for sure. And we are seeing most of our sales are concentrating in states with the highest meat eating population, like Telangana, Bihar, Jharkhand, Bengal, all those kind of places. So that just goes on to validate that meat eaters are warming up to the plant-based meat options. And as more and more category awareness is created, we believe a lot of people will give it a shot. So our sale, most of the sales, more than 90% is happening through retail, and institutions are picking up, or is picking up. Yeah. Almost all the current products which are there in the markets are ambient, shelf stable at ambient temperature, at room temperature. They can be stored for 1 year. So that's the beauty of our products.
In January, ITC became the first FMCG major in India to step foot into this market. The company highlighted that India's meat market today is estimated at $45 billion, indicating significant growth potential. Despite ITC's entry, it is still too early to say whether this sector has come of age in India. The industry has a long way to go before it can gain mass market appeal.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.